So in the previous video, you have seen the introduction to S3, right? Yeah. So there you have seen whenever you're creating a bucket, you must need to provide two things. What is that? A unique bucket name, and second thing is what? A unique bucket name as well as in what region you want to store your bucket. Those are the two things that you need to provide. So now in order to upload my object, is there any storage classes available? That means, let's say one person requires to store his data and another person required to store his data for long period of time for less cost, right? Like that, many types of needs are there, right? So in that way, I want to store my data in based on my needs. Is there any classification of storage types for storing my object in S3? Yes, there is a classification of S3 storage classes for objects. So that we're gonna learn in this video. So different types of storage classes for objects, for S3 objects. Let us see in this video. Based on your accessing, based on objects accessing, the objects you store in bucket, right? So based on your objects accessing, these are classified into three types. First one is default storage. You can access very frequently in it. And the second one is intelligent tier. What is that? Intelligent tier, where you use this when you don't have predictable access. You don't know for how much duration of time you are accessing. That is within 30 days you are accessing, or within 90 days you are accessing, 180 days you are accessing. You don't know about it. So in that case, you need to choose this intelligent tier, where this intelligent tier automatically manages your data in the respective storage. That is, either it belongs to frequently accessed or infrequently accessed or archival storage. And next, it is infrequent access. If you don't want to access your data for months, that means if you want to access only once per a month, then you choose this infrequent access storage. Or else, if you want to access your data once per a year, once per a quarter, then you choose this archival storage. So when do you choose this archival storage or glacier storage? If you want to access your data once per a year. So based on that, you choose this archival storage or glacier storage. When do you choose this intelligent access storage? If you want to access your storage at least once in a month, then you can choose this. Or else if you want to access normally, then you choose this default storage. If you are unable to predict your accessing from today till 180 days, then you can able to choose this for intelligent tier storage. So again, these infrequent access storages again classified into two types: S3 infrequent access and S3 one zone infrequent access. The only difference between these two is you only access your data less frequently. That is, compared to the standard storage. In standard storage, you access your storage very frequently. But here, what happens in infrequent access storages, you access your data once in a month. So here also there are two choices for you. That means based on how many availability zones you want to store your data. So in normal, your data is stored in 3 availability zones for providing you high durability and availability, right? So if you want to avoid storing in multiple regions, multiple availability zones in a region, then you choose this one zone IA, one zone infrequent access. If you use this S3 infrequent access, then it stores normally like a S3 standard storage. That is, it stores in 3 availability zones, at least 3 availability zones. in a region. But since you are accessing with less amount of times in a month, that means you are accessing only once per month, so it costs you less compared to standard. So why this one zone infrequent access costs less compared to this infrequent access is because here you are storing only one region and you are accessing, you are storing in one availability zone and in one region, and you are accessing only once per month, so that it charges you very less compared to S3 infrequent access and standard storage. So coming to Glacier, Glacier storage or archival storage, it is again classified into how many types? Three types. What are they? S3 Glacier. Here G represents glacier and I represents infrequent, R represents retrieval, D represents deep, A represents archival. So F represents flexible. So I forgot to write, I'll write it. Okay, let's see the full form of this GIR. This GIR represents glacier infrequent retrieval. Coming to this GFR represents glacier retrieval, glacier flexible retrieval. And GDA represents glacier deep archive. What is this? Glacier deep archive. So how these are classified, sir? These are also classified based on your accessing time. Based on your accessing time. So here, during which period of time you are access your data? You access your data per year, right? Quarterly once you can access your data here. Now, so while accessing also, if you want to access your data within milliseconds you want to access, then you can use this glacier infrequent retrieval. Glacier infrequent retrieval is used to access your data once in a quarter in milliseconds. And if you want to access your data within minutes to hours, then you can choose this glacier flexible retrieval. And let's say you don't want to access your data within minutes to hour, you want to access your data even in hours, that is from 12 hours to 3 days, 12 hours to days, 12 hours to 2 days, 12 hours to 48 hours, then you can able to use this deep archival. So based on your accessing, these are again classified. So since we are accessing in milliseconds, since we are accessing in milliseconds in during 1/4 of time, that is 1 year of time, this charges you less compared to all these. This default storage and infrequent access storage, compared to them, this glacier infrequent retrieval will charge you less. So if you comes under frequent retrieval, that means flexible retrieval, then it charges you much less, because here your data is retrieved in minutes, right? So that's why minutes to hours. So that's why it will charges you less compared to this glacier infrequent retrieval. Whereas coming to here, that is deep archival. Here you are retrieving your data once in a year. That also you can wait from 12 hours to days. So that's why it charge you very much less compared to this. So this is the very cheapest one and this is the normal charge one. And you can use this intelligent tag whenever you don't know your data patterns. That means you don't know when to use, you don't know how much frequently you are accessing your data. In that case, you use this infrequent tag. So let's analyze one by one point with one by one storage type. So after how much duration of time you are accessing your data in S3 storage, you can able to access frequently, very frequently you can able to access that. How many availability zones did you store your data? in how many availability zones did you store your data? This is S3 standard storage is storing your data in 3 availability zones in a same region. If you see availability, since we are storing in 3 availability zones, we are having high availability, that is 99.999%. If your data in one availability zone got destroyed due to some natural disaster also, your data must present in another 2 availability zones. So the data will be again synchronized with the other third availability zone, that is which is failed. Whenever it recovered at that moment of time, your data is recovered back there, synchronized back. So 99% your data is highly available. Since your data is stored greater than or equal to 3 availability zones, even one availability zone got damaged due to disaster, it again withstand with the disaster also, disaster recovery also available. So it provides you durability as well. That is 11 nines durability it will provide you. Even going down of one availability zone is also very less chance, but even though it goes down also, it provides you high durability, that is 11 nines durability. While discussing about other storage services, you need to provide how much minimum duration of days you will store your data. But in standard S3 storage, you do not even need to provide that minimum number of duration, minimum number of days your data will be stored. How many days you will store, those many days only you will be charged for storage in S3 standard. Coming to throughput and latency. What does latency indicates is late response. Low late response means very quick response, very fast response. So does S3 standard provides me fast response? Yes. So coming to throughput. What does this throughput mean, sir? This throughput indicates how much large amount of data you can able to transmit. Can I able to transmit very high amount of data per second? Yes. You can able to transfer very large amount of data from standard storage. Either it may be in or out from the standard storage. You can able to transmit very high amount of large amount of data per second. At last, if you are moving your data from, if you are sending your data to S3 standard storage, so does it secure? Is there any data encryption available? Yes, there is a data encryption available while your data is in transit. While your data is in transmission also, your data encryption is available. So even at the time of storing, SSL transcription is available, SSL encryption is available while your data is in transmission mode. SSL or TLS encryption is available. So coming to at rest, is there any encryption available? Yes, there are mainly two encryptions available. Those are KMS. KMS is one which we mostly use, key management service. So like this, for our storage, encryption is available both in transmission mode as well as in rest mode for our data. So these are the main features that we need to focus on each and every service. So let's see other services. At last, we will discuss about intelligent tier as well. So let's move on with S3 infrequent access and S3 one zone infrequent access and S3 IR, that is infrequent retrieval, and S3 Glacier flexible retrieval and S3 Glacier deep archival. So let's discuss among these. So can you tell me after how much duration you can access your data in S3 infrequent access, sir? After how much duration you can able to access your data in S3 infrequent access? both in infrequent access storages. Both in infrequent access storages, you can able to access your data once per month. Once per month. How much duration of time you can able to access your data? After how much duration of time you can able to access your data? That is 1 month. After 1 month, in every 1 month you can able to access your data. That is the frequency of access to your data in infrequent access. Let's see about Glacier. For how much, after how much duration of time you can able to access your data, or else you can say how many times can I able to access my data in a year. In a year you can able to access your data only once. Here in Glacier storages or archival storage, you can able to access, neither it may be any type, you can able to access your data only once per year, only once per quarter. Let's see another type comparison. So what about data storage? In how many availability zones my data will be stored, sir? So except one zone IA, every storage will store your data at least greater than or equals to 3 availability zones. Only at one zone infrequent access, your data is stored in single availability zone. Except there, in every storage, either it may be standard or infrequent access, or it may be belongs to Glacier storage, your data is stored must be greater than or equals to 3 availability zones. So can you tell me, here I stored in one only one availability zone, right? Yes. So let's say that one availability zone got failed. So can I say, due to disaster one availability zone got failed? So the data present in that one availability zone got lost, right? Yes. So then what are the data that I stored in single availability zone in S3, one availability zone infrequent access in S3, my data got lost? Yeah. So during the disaster time, does it recover? No. So can I say it fails during the disaster time? During the disaster time, it was failed to save my data. So can I say at that particular moment of time, my availability got reduced? Yes. So how much it is reduced, sir? It is reduced very less probability of such cases happen. The only case is 99.5%. Only 99.5% only your data got removed. That means you, due to disaster, your data got removed from a single data center as well. So even you store your data in single data center, if any disaster happen, AWS will take care of it, but due to a very less chance, that is 0.5% chance, your data will lose. So even it is very less percentage to lose your data. Even your data is stored in single availability zone, even that availability zone goes down. So that going down percentage is very less, that is 0.5, because AWS will maintain high securely, right? Yes. So to face any disasters, it will maintain like that. So now if you compare the availability of other storage types, what is that 99.9%? Because AWS is maintaining our data in other availability zones, that is greater than or equal to 3. So there is no probability of losing our data. So except compared to one zone infrequent access, that to 99.5% only. Except that, all other availability zones can provide me, all other storage types will provide me a high availability of 99.9%. Right? Yes. So let's analyze the durability. Since in one zone IA, your data is stored in one availability zone, so it is a durable only, that availability zone, right? Yes. So here only 11 nines durability is available in one availability zone. So here also 11 nines durability is available, but the only thing is it is available in one availability zone only. So in this S3 one zone infrequent access, your 11 nines durability is available in only one availability zone due to your data is stored only in single availability zone. So coming to other storage types. So here your storage is available in 3 availability zones, right? So can I say here 11 nines durability is available in every availability zone? Yes. So here 11 nines durability is available, as well as similarly in glacier type storages also, since they are stored in 3 availability zones, there also we have high durability of 11 nines. So in 3 types of storages, it will provide me 11 nines because they are stored in 3 availability zones, right? Yes. So let's compare the next thing, that is minimum storage duration. What is the minimum storage duration that we follow? Since here in infrequent access storage, we are accessing at least once per month. So here we need to commit. We need to commit for storage. We must store for at least 30 days. We need to commit. We need to store for at least 30 days in where infrequent access storage. So coming to standard access storage, do we need any commitment? No. There we are accessing frequently, so no commitments is needed. Coming to infrequent access, we need to, since we are accessing once per month, we need to commit for 30 days, at least 30 days we need to commit. So coming to glacier. Coming to glacier storage, here for glacier infrequent retrieval storage or flexible retrieval storage, we must need to commit for 90 days. Since we are accessing once in a quarter, so we must need to commit for at least 90 days that we will store our data in this glacier storage. Whereas coming to glacier deep archival, so it's like a cold storage. Glacier storage or archival storage is nothing but like a cold storage. You are accessing only once a quarter, right? So since it provides you very less cost, right? So that's why you need to commit for 100 days, at least 100 days. So these are the commitments of minimum storage duration you need to follow while choosing these storages. And these are the things that you need to remember, that is how frequently you are accessing your data. If we compare the another parameter, that is high throughput and low latency, what does this low latency means? That means fast response, right? So if you see, glacier frequent, that is flexible retrieval and deep archival, we are accessing from minutes to hours in flexible retrieval and from hours to days in deep archival. So can I say it's a very late response? Yes. So it's a very late response, that is very high late response. Late response is nothing but latency, very high latency. Can I say this does not provide high latency? Low latency? Yes. Since they are providing very late response, they cannot able to provide low latency. So except those two will not provide. So no, except those two, in the other storage services, we can able to access our data with high throughput. That means a very lot of data transfer per second, and with low latency, that is fast response we can able to get even in all other storages. Even in glacier infrequent retrieval also we got, but in the other two, that is flexible retrieval and deep archival, we don't got, because we access the data from minutes to hours in glacier free flexible retrieval, and we access our data from hours to days in deep archival. So those two are not supposed to provide me low latency, so they comes under no. So coming to data encryption, so can all the storage services will provide me data encryption? The answer for this is yes. Data encryption is provided in all storage services. Either your data is in transmission mode, that is in transit mode, or else your data is in rest mode, encryption is provided. During transmission, SSL certificate or TLS certificate is provided for encrypting your data, and during a rest mode you can use KMS service to encrypt your data in these storage services. Now let's see much more about Glacier frequent Glacier flexible retrieval. In this, it offers again three types of data retrieval. This S3 Glacier flexible retrieval again classified into how many types? Three types. So based on your retrieval time, this again classified into three types. That is expedited retrieval and standard retrieval and bulk retrieval. So what is the difference between them, sir? In expanded retrieval, we can able to access our data within 1 to 5 minutes. Within 1 to 5 minutes, we can able to access our data. Here in the expanded retrieval, you can able to access within 1 to 5 minutes only. But the only condition is you can access only up to 250 MBs only. Up to 250 MBs of data only you can access in 1 to 5 minutes in the expanded retrieval data retrieval mode in Glacier flexible retrieval. Whereas if you see about standard retrieval, you can able to access any amount of storage within 3 to 5 hours. You can able to access in 3 to 5 hours any amount of size of data. Whereas coming to bulk retrieval, the name itself telling that you can able to retrieve bulk amount of data at a time. At a time you can able to retrieve bulk amount of data. That is within how much duration of time? 5 to 12 hours. It requires 5 to 12 hours. In this bulk retrieval, it allows us to retrieve petabytes of data within 5 to 12 hours. Since we are retrieving a lot of data, it takes much more time. So in standard retrieval, you can able to access your data within 3 to 5 hours. In expanded data, you are allowed to retrieve your data in 1 to 5 minutes. That data must be less than or equals to 250 MB. So expanded data costs you large because you're accessing it very frequently compared to standard and bulk. And bulk costs you very less because you're accessing takes 5 to 12 hours, right? Yes. So that's why it costs less compared to all the retrieval models, data retrieval models in Glacier flexible retrieval. Based on based on type of retrievals, these Glacier deep archival is again classified into two types, that is standard retrieval and bulk retrieval. Coming to standard retrieval, you can able to retrieve your data within 12 hours, and that is nothing but half day. And coming to bulk retrieval, you can able to retrieve your data up to 48 hours. Within 48 hours, you can able to retrieve your data, that is 2 days, right? Yeah. So within the bulk retrieval, you can able to retrieve a lot amount of data, but it takes 2 days. Coming to standard retrieval, it takes 12 hours only to retrieve your data. So standard will cost you more compared to this bulk retrieval. So these are Glacier retrieval types. So if you know the object retrieval, if you know the object retrieval duration, then you can choose either default storage or infrequent access storage or archival storage. When if I don't know the pattern of accessing my data, how frequently my data is accessed, then you can choose this intelligent tier. In this intelligent tier, what happens? In this intelligent tier, based on your accessing time, it will move your storage to different storage types. So again, in this intelligent tier, you are having four more. You are having how many? Four more data storage types. What are they? Again, this S3 intelligent tier is again classified into four types. That is frequent access, infrequent access, archival instance access, and deep archival instance access. Here we don't need to select what is the type where we are storing. Based on our accessing, we don't need to select where we are storing. We just store in S3 intelligent tier. This S3 intelligent tier will automatically implement or put your data in the suitable storage. That is, let's say if you put your data, then it first present in frequent access for first 30 days. Less than or equals to 30 days, it will present there only. So let's say you accessed that data, then it must remains again present in the same frequent access data only for next 30 days as well. If let's say for the first 30 days you have not used, you have not accessed that data, then since you have not accessed that data, then after 30 days it reaches to infrequent access. Here it will stay up to less than or equals to 90 days. How many days? Less than or equals to 90 days it will present in the infrequent access. Let's say you access it. In between, you accessed in the infrequent access. Your data is present in the infrequent access. Now you accessed the data which is present in infrequent tier. Now again the data is moved to where? Frequently accessed. Now again for the first 30 days, if you access it, then again it will present in the same only. If you don't access the data, then in first 30 days it moves to infrequent access. Then again 90 days, if you don't access this, then it will move to the next stage, that is archival instance access. So it will charge you based on this. So if you don't access less than or equals to 180 days, so within 180 days if you don't access, then it will charge you for archival instance. If you access it, then the object which is present in archival instance will again move to frequent access. After 30 days if you don't access, then it will move to again infrequent access. It charge you there. Again after 90 days you don't use it that data, access it that data, it again move to archival access. Again after that also you are not accessing for 180 days, then it will again move to deep archival instance data. So there you can able to store greater than or equals to 180 days. So before accessing you can able to store 180 days. So whenever objects in the archival storage are infrequent tier accessed, then this intelligent tier will move your data back to frequent tier. So like this, it will manage intelligently based on your accessing of data, accessing pattern of your data. Your data is moved back and you will be charged based on which storage you are accessing. It is frequently or infrequent access, archival instance access, or deep archival instance access. Remember, these are separate. These are separate. These are not these infrequent or glacier archivals. These are separate. So even you can see this S3 Glacier storage in separate service in AWS where you can able to use it. Last, but it is very important thing, that is life cycle management, life cycle rules. So in S3 there is an option called life cycle management. So it is provided by S3 to fulfill the need of a customer who can able to transmit their data from one storage to another storage automatically. So let's say I put my data in S3 storage, S3 standard storage. After 90 days, I want to move that storage from S3 standard to S3 infrequent access. Then you can able to define your rule in lifecycle policy. That's it. Your all data present in S3 storage will be moved to infrequent access. Or else you can define for certain objects I want to move after these many days to this type of storage. Then if you choose that, then it will be moved after those many days. Let's say let's say there is a situation after 6 years, I don't want my files. The files who are who are exceededly stored more than 6 years, I want to delete them, I want to move them to bin. Then you can even use that life cycle policy to move all the objects directly to bin. So in order to delete them, it will take you very lot of time. Whereas coming to, if you choose this life cycle policy, then you can automatically move them very less time to bin, and you can able to achieve all the things by using that life cycle policy. So by using that life cycle policy, you can even able to access any storage type. These all storage types will support life cycle policy, which is present in S3, where by using that life cycle policy, you can able to even manage your data after how many days, where your storage data will be present, that you can able to manage by using the policies. By using what? S3 life cycle rules. So I hope you understood all the available S3 storage classes and when do you need to use and where to use these and which is suitable to you. And if you don't know the accessing frequently access of your data pattern, then what is the storage type that you need to use, and a brief intro about S3 lifecycle rules or policies. So I hope you understood video. I, I hope you understood this video. Thanks for watching. If you feel this video is contentful, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye.